Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, as well as you ladies. Oh my goodness, it is game day. It is 8:40 in the morning. I have been up since 6, getting ready because we have the first game starting off at 9:30. Had to go to BJ's this morning because I had to get my meats because we're going to go ahead and do an Italian sub. I'm not sure how many people are coming. I believe DMV's coming. Daniel Hernandez, shout out to the veterans out there. I think he's coming. David Wiley is held hostage at work, so I'm not sure if he's coming. I haven't heard from E2 Blue if he's coming or not for comic relief. And Rashid is not sure he wants to show up with a bag over his head. So I don't know. So I figure when you do the big sub, okay, the sub that came in is like 3.5 foot long, so we got 6 inches extra. You know, when you got 6 inches, you got to do something with that 6 inches extra. You know, you can't just, 6 inches is a lot of meat that you don't want to waste. And when you do the hot subs, if you do a steak and cheese sub, or if you do like the chopped cheese sub, all the juices and stuff get in the bread gets soggy, and it's not necessarily that good the next day. If it's chopped cheese, it's actually grease, and the grease gets kind of hard. You're sitting there eating the grease sub, so it's not as good. So I figure we'll do the Italian sub today. That way, if we don't have a lot of people that show up, we can wrap it up. I can take some to my brother-in-law, Robbie, because he loves the big subs. I can take some, with me to the Red Brick House. I can take some to my parents and all that, and it'll still be a really good sub. So that's our thinking for today, and that's what we're going to do. Now, listening to Micah Parsons, Micah Parsons has become the voice. He is the voice of the Dallas Cowboys, and he can say things that maybe the media guys can't necessarily get away with and stuff. He started a whole controversy because he said that Dak Prescott should be in there with the MVP talk and stuff, and of course people literally lose their minds. Eagle fans come running like crazy. All I say to Eagle fans is 3rd and 30. If somebody says he's not clutch, I say 3rd and 30. 3rd and 30. 3rd and 30. Okay? And we still have another game against them mother humpers. But be that as it may, Micah Parsons needs to do some work himself. Micah Parsons right now, for Defensive Player of the Year, is falling to the wayside. Other guys are getting, Max Crosby is a beast right now. Now, he does benefit because the Raiders are ass, okay? So they're on the field a lot more, because their offense isn't doing diddly poo. They're not doing diddly poo, so he's getting more opportunities than some of the teams that are better teams that offenses are scoring points. But also, Myles Garrett, right now, at best, you got to look at Micah Parsons and say he's about 3rd in the running. He needs to step up his game. He needs to get, he's leading, I think he's leading in pressures, but he's got to get those sack numbers up. Now, be it as it may, I believe he has 8 already on the season. He's on pace for like 16 or 17, which is great. But what he needs is these games against the Tommy DeVitos that live with their mama. They still live, and he's proud about it. I go home, man. Mama's got some chicken cutlets for me, man. Hey, she done my laundry for me, and she made my bed. I can just roll out of bed. I ain't got to make up the bed. Okay, I wonder, does she tuck him in at night and put a piece of candy on his pillow? Does Mama do that for you, Tommy? Tommy, does she put a piece of candy on your pillow and tuck you in, give you a little good night, Tommy? Micah needs to make Tommy DeVito run home for his mama. This is the opportunity, games like this where you're going against an ass offensive line, that you got to feast. No bullshit. You got to feast. You got to start getting 2 and 3 sack games, okay? You got to literally just destroy the Giants, the Panthers, and you got to make Sam Howell pay. You got to make Sam Howell howl. Ow! 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 Yeah, you got to make him howl. Howl for pain. If you are wanting that MVP. So as you talk about pumping up Dak Prescott, pump up the volume, dance, dance, dance. You got to do the same thing yourself. And on the flip side of this should be a game. The next 3 games should be about padding your stats as well, Dak Prescott. If we're looking at this and saying, Dak, you want to get a 300-yard game and 2-3 touchdown passes, start getting your numbers up there for that MVP conversation. If you go through and say the next 4 games, now you got the Seattle Seahawks at home too, and I know this is a lot to ask for because it's 4 games in 18 days, but let's say you average 300 a game, 300 yards, and 2 TDs a game, which is not out of the question. Okay, let's say 2.5. If you go through that stretch and add 1,200 yards of passing, add 10 TD passes, and say 1 interception, now all of a sudden you're talking about being like 25-6 TDs to interceptions. Now you're talking about being on pace for, 4,700 yards. You get those wins. Now you're talking about the Cowboys being 9-3. That's when you really start looking and saying, yeah, we could be looking at MVPs on this roster. I know Eagle fans will lose their minds because anytime you say something good about Dak Prescott, they come running and trying to troll. Yeah, a guy who's beat them 8 out of the last 12 games. And a guy they don't seem to be able to stop. Only the officials seem to be able to stop Dak Prescott. So we have, it's 8:47. 8:47. I'm about 10 minutes from home. I got to get my meats inside and put away. Get the other camera upstairs set up. Make sure the computer is ready to rock and roll. And be on live. Oh, I probably need to clean up some downstairs too. Straighten up a little bit before everybody gets there. And be on live at 9:30. Life is always, always busy. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate you guys, and I hope you tune in for the Joe Boo Sports Reports live stream. And I'll see you there. Peace.